Okay, today I'm going to be showing you how I installed this here sliding barn door hardware. Of course, the door does not come with this kit, it's only the hardware, but I'm going to be showing you how I installed it. This is the 6.6 feet hardware kit if you are curious, just for reference, but let's jump into how to do this. The first thing most people are probably going to have to do, and what I had to do, is one, find the studs, and you'll find that your studs probably don't line up with the holes of the barn door. So you'll have to go through and add a backing board. Now the backing board allows you to attach your hardware basically anywhere on that board, but it also allows the barn door to be a little bit off the wall, because if your door is framed like mine is, the bolts in the back will hit that. So it allows it to be flush with everything. And if you're curious, I'm using a 1x4 MDF board. As you can see, I'm going through and putting 2 screws into each of the studs where I went through and measured where the studs are at. After this, I went through and started installing the actual railing. It comes in 2 parts, which makes it really nice for me in this case when I'm doing this all by myself. You will need a ratchet wrench or a wrench to go through and screw on the bolts inside of here. I went through and did a little bit of pre-drilling to make it easier to get the screws inside of the MDF board. I was actually really happy on how easy this process was. Just make sure that you are continuously making sure everything is level and it is the right height that you need it to be. So don't tighten the bolts at the very beginning. Make sure that everything is level before you. Now, as you see, I'm going back and tightening all the bolts now that I know it's level. And unfortunately, I didn't get this in the video, but actually putting this door onto the railings is super easy. Basically, all you do is, you see here, it has, let me get this to focus. It has this little notch on the top here. You just lift the door onto this notch and it just rests on there just like that. So you can see that's how it goes on. So it's really easy to put the door on from this point. And putting these bolts on is pretty simple as well. It's just 2 bolts that basically go through the door, and then there's a bolt on the back here that holds it in place. One other thing I was worried about, because this did come in 2 pieces, is that if this would get caught when it was going between these 2 beams, and it doesn't at all. It goes over it perfectly and doesn't have any problems. As you can see, you're going to need a backing board, because you want to, these holes aren't going to match up exactly with your studs where these go through. So you can see here's where my studs are, here's where the kit lines up. So you need to go through and nail or screw in the backing board to the stud, so that then you can attach the railing to this board, which is attached to the studs. So make sure you go through and do that. Another thing to keep in mind is that these end pieces on the top here, they have little Allen wrenches that allow you to move them around, and you can slide these further that way or further this way, so you can play around and see exactly where you want the door to stop on both sides. There's one on that side and one over there as well.